straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hi and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, the Bangladesh and Pakistan women's cricket teams give their country more joy, registering historic wins at the World Cup. This comes at a time when Bangladesh men's cricket team just had a whitewash, and Pakistan's men's cricket team is in deep turmoil, as we all know. We bring you the emotional ride that these wins have created and who starred in them. Palestine and Israel are on course for yet another collision, this over football. The PFA, Palestinian Football Association, wants FIFA to ban Israel. The reason is not the war. Is Israel weaponizing football too? That's what Palestine claims. And there is a new Clark in the hood, more charismatic, charming, and supremely talented than the original Clark Kent. Caitlin Clark is the new superhero who's revolutionizing basketball. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. Starting with tennis, number 1 seed Aryna Sabalenka crashed out of the China Open. The world number 2 lost to unseeded Karolina Muchova 6-7, 6-2, 4-6. The Czech player is gunning for her second career title with this win. Over in football, Manchester United drew 3-3 with FC Porto in a Europa League thriller. United were up 2-0 early on with goals from Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund. Porto struck thrice to put United on the back foot. United's troubles increased after midfielder Bruno Fernandes was given a red card in the 81st minute, but Harry Maguire came to the rescue and scored in injury time to salvage a draw. Chaos surrounded the Ajax versus Slavia Praha Europa League match. Before the game, sections of Ajax fans clashed with the Czech police. Fans tried entering the stadium without tickets. Police detained several of them and even found knives, baseball bats and batons with some of the Ajax supporters. Over in Formula One, French luxury giant LVMH has signed a 10-year sponsorship deal with Formula One. The deal includes its brands, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy and Tag Heuer. It's valued at over $100 million annually. The sponsorship will start in 2025. And wrapping it up with news from chess, 5-time world champions Vishwanathan Anand and Magnus Carlsen headlined the opening day of Global Chess League, a league-based tournament currently underway in London. The duo played out a draw that drew a massive audience. Yes, we begin our coverage of the T20 World Cup, T20 Women's World Cup, and we're calling it Quest for Queendom. And what a historic way to begin this coverage. Yes, and it's gotten underway in UAE. And the biggest story that we are starting with and that's taken center stage has been the rise of 2 subcontinent teams who've come on the back of growing dissent and discord back home, registering great wins, Bangladesh and Pakistan. Let's talk about Bangladesh first. This country, of course, is in the middle of one of the most intense political unrest that the country has witnessed in recent times. The uncertainty back home has had its impact on the sporting landscape too. In fact, the Women's World Cup was initially meant to be held in Bangladesh. These women, led by Nigar Sultana, would have played in front of their home crowd. They would have been cheered by their own fans. Bangladesh had to play in UAE. The World Cup got shifted there. Sure, they were up against a rookie side in Scotland yesterday, playing their debut World Cup. But by beating Scotland, Bangladesh registered their first win at the T20 World Cup in 10 long years, resulting in emotional scenes all through the stadium. Pictures, of course, broke the internet. Everyone were talking about that memorable win. Nigar Sultana is a tough leader, but she broke down and so did her teammates, giving fans back home so much joy amidst the dread that has surrounded them for weeks, giving cricket lovers one of the most memorable moments in the tournament already. Yes, that was Bangladesh, and what a great way to have started this campaign. All eyes on them here on, and this was not the only side from the subcontinent that had a great outing. Pakistan is probably seeing a reversal of fortunes, at least here. The women are doing what the men are struggling to achieve. Pakistan cricket is in shambles. Their senior most hand, Babar Azam, just stepped down, relinquishing the captaincy of the shorter formats. They aren't winning matches, and no one knows who will lead their white ball formats from here on for the near future. At such a time, their female counterparts have found a leader who could prove to be a game changer for her side and her country in this World Cup. She almost single-handedly won the match for Pakistan, helping them save face as a cricketing nation. Fatima Sana led her team to a memorable win over title contenders Sri Lanka, the dark horse in some sense in this particular tournament. The Chamari Atapattu-led side have looked solid in the months leading up to this contest, but I have to focus on Fatima Sana, who is all of just 22 years old. She was all over the ground last night, affecting results with the ball, top scoring with the bat, and of course, her agility on the field. All of these attributes of hers contributed to a superb result to kickstart Pakistan's campaign at the World Cup, something their male counterparts failed to do so months ago in the T20 World Cup, getting ousted from the tournament, losing to USA, one of the hosts there. And many obviously saw the irony in this. Pakistan women's team finally beat a side they had lost to a number of times leading up to this face-off. There were many questions over Sana leading the charge here in this mega tournament. How would a 22-year-old take all that pressure? It's a big moment. It's a big-scale event. Something the senior Nidadar had to bear the burden of for a very long time. But Sana's cool, calm presence was clearly the differentiator on the day. And that's how these two young sides, these underdogs in the World Cup, have given us and many cricket fans watching this sport a lot to revel about, opening up this tournament to be an exciting one in the days to come. And of course, we will keep our focus going in our special coverage, Quest for Queendom. Israel's armed conflict with Hamas has been going on for almost a year now. It has now become a four-way battle with the involvement of Lebanon and Iran as well. But despite that, it comes back to where it all started, the tensions between Palestine and Israel. Of course, I'm referring to the sporting ones. Palestinian Football Association, or the PFA, wants Israel football banned. And not just because of the war. The PFA also accuses Israel, this is more important, of discrimination and expanding its territory through football. PFA claims that Israel is organizing its football matches in the territory of Palestine. Let me set this one up for you. The appeal by PFA was made to football's governing body, FIFA, some months ago, and FIFA has kept deferring the decision on this matter. They've sided with neither Israel nor Palestine in order to keep the peace of whatever that's left of it. But here's the thing, the same FIFA banned Russia's participation in football ever since the Ukraine invasion. Of course, they had to in that regard because many opposing teams were refusing to play Russia. FIFA had been put in a spot of bother. It had to come to that. But here, that's not the case, at least not just yet. Which is why no decision has been made yet on this tussle, which is why the pressure on FIFA to suspend Israel is slowly mounting. If not from the world, at least from the Palestinian Football Federation. FIFA had promised to address the issue in July, but deferred it to August and then to its October meeting now. Now too, they have not reached a decision yet, but have instead asked the disciplinary committee to investigate this matter further. But what does this mean? It means there was no vote held on exiling Israel from football, but they have decided to start investigations over the alleged discrimination charges. The PFA is accusing Israel Football Association of organizing matches and forming football clubs in territories that belong to Palestine.
FIFA allowed Israel FA to continue using the Palestinian territory as their own territory and to use football under its umbrella as an instrument of colonial expansion. FIFA contributes to human rights abuses and facilitates illegal occupation and colonialism.
The PFA is basically accusing Israel of using football as a means for its territorial expansion. And it's not just PFA that has been accusing Israel of this. A group of UN experts too have weighed in on this matter. It's not just the expansion that's rankled many though. UN experts go a step further. They feel that there is an angle of racism in all of this. These allegations suggest that Israel is not only organizing its domestic matches in Palestinian territory, but also ignoring Arab players, especially Palestinians, from being a part of their leagues, crushing the dreams of many. The war has killed at least 410 athletes, sports officials or coaches. Out of these, 297 were footballers, including 84 children. And close to 50 sports facilities have been destroyed, which includes 9 of the 10 Gaza football stadiums. Collateral damage of the war, of course. PFA's domestic tournament, West Bank Premier League, is halted because of the war, a huge setback for a country that showed a lot of promise in the recent football tournaments. Despite the lack of facilities, they are currently competing for a place in the World Cup. And not too long ago, Palestine's national team made the AFC Asian Cup a very exciting tournament with their grit and resilience. Sport, though, in this case, football, has clearly become another weapon in this conflict. The reason why the stalemate here exists when it comes to Palestine crying foul is because in the 30-odd years that Israel has been a UEFA member, no other team or countries have refused to play Israel. So what will FIFA ultimately decide or be forced to decide that will ensure that there are no negative repercussions post this decision? That will be something to look out for. Women's basketball has found its fame, and the reason for that is a 22-year-old playing in just her first WNBA season. Indiana Fever's point guard, Caitlin Clark, has already become the face of women's basketball, despite this being her debut year. To cap it off, Clark has won Rookie of the Year award, and she did that in some style, a unanimous choice of 66 of the 67 votes going in her favor. But it isn't just skill and accolades that make her the most popular face here on the basketball court. Clark's off-field antics and add more value to not just her, but the sport itself. An impressive scorer who knows how to take the little jibes, a voice that is also known to speak up when it matters the most, with her witty press conferences making her a complete package. Meet the coolest Clark in town, the biggest superhero yet.
Not just any rookie, but the rookie, who walks into every award category as the favorite. Caitlin Clark is turning heads in her first WNBA season, and winning the Rookie of the Year award was just the icing on the cake. The Indiana Fever point guard is proving what stardom can truly do, because she had the votes of 66 out of the 67 adjudicators. No wonder one of the best point guards, Chris Paul, sent in his praise. She isn't just breaking the rookie records, but also dominating the WNBA and putting up a fight against seasoned campaigners. She has averaged 19.2 points this season so far and notched up the season best 8.4 assists. It's performances like these that's helped Indiana Fever qualify for the playoffs despite being the worst team in Eastern Conference last year. Although Fever were knocked out in the initial stage and failed to qualify for the next round, Clark did her job, pretty much living up to the massive $338 contract that she earned. And while her on-court domination is enough to prove that she's one of the rising stars of the game, her off-court behavior is what makes her a crowd favorite. Because while Clark may be dedicated towards her game, she knows how to live in the moment too, like her press conferences that are always amusing. After Indiana Fever registered an 84-80 victory over rivals Connecticut Sun, Clark gave the internet a viral moment. Reporters kept asking her questions, but before she could answer, her teammate Lexi Hull said something that set Clark off. And from then on, she couldn't manage to hold a straight face for even a minute. And this is when Clark did not even utter a word, because when she does, it leaves others smitten too, even when the topic is something serious. Just a month ago, a reporter asked her about her injury, and Clark, instead of giving an update on the subject, said this.
Yeah, I saw the replay. It looked really soft. It wasn't bad of a turn, but it hurt. So sometimes you just need to give yourself a second. If you have ever turned your ankle, it just kind of stings for a little bit. So I was good.
This quote does no justice though to how she looked when she actually said it. And it's not just the fun version of Clark that the fans love, she's vocal on subjects that matter to her. Just a few weeks ago, when Connecticut Sun defeated Indiana Fever and knocked them out of the playoffs, some of the Connecticut Sun players faced racist abuses from sections of the Fever fans, to which Clark said this.
Nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism. Hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls. And it's a real disservice to the people in our league.
She is growing to be the face of the WNBA, reason why her presence on court grabs just as much interest as some of the biggest names over in the men's event. The viewership of the regular season saw 54 million people tune in to watch the WNBA, a boost of 170% from last year. Clark's introduction has even led to more social media content consumption and even more crowds coming into the arena just to watch her play. Clearly, WNBA is embracing the Clark effect, because whatever she does, it is as good as gold. When we used to say Clark, we always thought of the world's first superhero, Clark Kent. But I guess that name has a new address now, a prettier face, and definitely a much cooler superhero status.
Time for last serve. In a historic move for the transgender community, Spain's first all-trans football team, Phoenix FC, made its debut in a regional men's league match. They lost the game by 19 goals, but it was a significant move for the community. Take a look. That wraps up Firstpost this week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on the other side. Take care.